Buddhism and the question of God. The awakening from within. Throughout human history, the question of God has always been at the center of debate. Who created the world? Who controls human destiny? Major religions seek answers through the image of an almighty creator. But Buddhism chooses a different path, a path that does not rely on God, but instead relies on the human being. This surprises many. They ask, why doesn't Buddhism speak of God? Isn't every religion built around a creator? And that very question reveals Buddhism's core difference. This is not a search outward, but a journey inward. The Buddha never completely denied the existence of gods, but he never placed them at the center of the path to liberation either. When people asked him about the universe, about the origin of life, he remained silent. Because to the Buddha, such questions do not help us solve the most urgent suffering, the pain within our own hearts. For him, whether we suffer or find peace does not lie in the hands of any divine being. It lies in our own thoughts, words, and daily actions. He taught, "Be a lamp unto yourself," meaning the clarity and peace we long for do not come from outside, but already lie within each of us. Here, Buddhism takes a bold and direct stance. No dependence, no pleading, no waiting for blessings from above. Everything begins with us. Only when we deeply understand that every action creates karma, meaning every cause leads to its result, do we truly take control of our own lives. This is not simply about not believing in God. It goes deeper. Buddhism frees people from the idea of an external supreme power and hands back the key to happiness to each individual. And that is why, for over 2,500 years, the path the Buddha taught continues to attract millions, because it does not demand blind faith, but encourages us to experience, to verify, and to realize the truth for ourselves. Karma, no self, and the supreme power that lies within. In other religions, human destiny rests in the hands of God, the one who decides who is rewarded and who is punished. But in Buddhism, the law that governs life is simpler and fairer. The law of cause and effect. The Buddha taught that every action, no matter how small, plants a seed. That seed will sprout, grow, and bear fruit, in this life or the next. There is no one sitting above to judge, no one to forgive or punish us. It is we ourselves who write our own fate through every thought, word, and deed we perform each day. To many, this truth feels both frightening and liberating. Frightening, because there's no one left to blame. Every result we receive is the fruit of our own doing, but at the same time, it's incredibly empowering. We don't need to wait for someone's blessing. We can change our lives, starting today, simply by planting better seeds. And here lies the second major distinction that sets Buddhism apart: the doctrine of no self. While many religions teach that we possess an eternal soul created by God, the Buddha pointed out a radical truth. What we call self is not fixed. This body changes every day. Emotions and thoughts rise and pass continuously. There is no unchanging, eternal I at the center. The Buddha called this anatta, no self, meaning there is no permanent self, and because there is no fixed me, there is also no one for God to save or punish. Everything is just a chain of causes and conditions, interconnected and constantly changing. At first, this may sound strange, but when we truly observe ourselves, our breath, emotions, thoughts, we clearly see everything arises and passes away. There is no solid, unchanging self at the core. And this insight is the key to freedom. When we stop clinging to an illusory self, we no longer fear loss, nor suffer from comparison, envy, or greed. In Buddhism, liberation is not about going to heaven as a reward from God. Liberation is nirvana, a state of deep inner peace, free from greed, hatred, and delusion. And the path to this freedom does not depend on any supreme being. It lies in our own inner discipline, keeping ethical conduct, doing good, practicing mindfulness, and meditating. The Buddha said, "We are the heirs of our karma," meaning, no one else but us is responsible for our happiness or suffering. Not the heavens, not fate, and certainly not God. Everything begins with us. And this is precisely why Buddhism has remained powerful, practical, and alive across the centuries. It teaches people to rise up, to take charge of their own minds, to stop begging and waiting for miracles from outside. Liberation is not a gift. It is the fruit of relentless effort. Don't believe anyone. Experience it yourself. Perhaps no religion has ever dared to make such a bold statement as the Buddha did. Do not believe even what I say without testing it yourself. In the Kalama Sutta, the Buddha taught very clearly, do not believe just because it is hearsay. Do not believe just because it is tradition. Do not believe just because it is written in scriptures. Do not believe just because your teacher says so. And do not believe just because it seems logical to you. Only when you have seen for yourself that something is true, that it leads to peace and freedom, only then should you accept it. That statement, my friend, shook the foundation of Indian thought at the time. While other religions demanded blind faith, Buddhism went the opposite way. It called for personal verification. No one can give you enlightenment. No God will come down to grant you grace. Buddhism teaches that if you want to know the truth, you must observe yourself through meditation, through mindfulness, through watching each breath, each emotion as it arises within you. This is why Buddhism does not get entangled in debates about whether God exists or not. Because that question is theoretical. Whether God exists or not doesn't help you end your suffering here and now. The more important question is, in this very moment, are you living with greed or with letting go? Are you clinging or are you free? The Buddha said, "Be a light unto yourself." No one can walk the path for you. No doctrine, no philosopher, no deity can give you happiness if you are not willing to take the steps yourself. This is why in Buddhism, meditation holds the central role. Not mere chanting, not rituals performed outside, but inner practice, observing, reflecting, refining yourself little by little. And over time, through years of practice, you will see the change inside you, becoming lighter, clearer, freer. And that is the real proof. Not arguments, not blind belief. This is exactly what makes Buddhism feel close to the spirit of modern science. It does not accept claims without evidence. It demands experiment, direct experience. People say, believe, and then you will see. But the Buddha taught, see first, then believe. Conclusion: the answer lies within you. So why don't Buddhists believe in a creator God? Not because they reject or deny the faith of others, but because Buddhism points to a different path. A path that does not rely on begging from outside forces, but draws strength from the power within you. The Buddha never asked you to believe. He invited you to try. Try observing your own mind. Try letting go of the things that cause you pain. Try living even one day with true mindfulness. And when you personally feel the change, your mind calmer, your heart lighter, your wisdom clearer, that becomes the living proof. No need for theories, no need for theological debates. The Buddha's message is simple yet powerful. You must walk the path yourself. No one can walk it for you. Whether you believe in God or not, that's not the point. The real question is, right now, in this moment, what are you choosing to cultivate in your heart? Greed or letting go? Anger or compassion? Ignorance or wisdom? The answer isn't written in the sky. It's not locked in books. It's right here, within you, shaped by every thought, every action, every single day. And that is why the Buddha's teaching, even after 2,500 years, still stirs hearts. Turn inward. Light your own path. And find your true power, not outside, but within yourself.